Okay, here we are with part 7, where we're going to learn how to render the final shot. In this lesson, we're going to move the content we have here into the Solaris context, which is where you can assign materials, set up lights and cameras, and render. So before we get there, let's go to the rubber toy here, and let's turn off the animation of the bricks. That way we can go just to frame 1, and we don't have to worry about that right now. We're going to keep the squab hidden, and we're going to focus on these 3 pieces right here. To do this, we're going to go to the Solaris context here. This is a slightly different area of Houdini. We're going to go Tab, Scene, Import, and we're going to place that down. Now we're going to go to the objects here, click, brings up this window, and we're going to take the ground, press Shift, and pick those 3. Shift, all those 3. And accept pattern. And those are all brought in. And if we use our view tools, we can see we've got a very big grid with the pegboard in the middle and the rubber toy. Now notice we don't have the colors of the rubber toy in here. They will come back when we assign a material. Or when we render. They're just not working in the viewport right here because we have what's called Houdini GL. Now, when we bring these in, let's just go up here and go /geo. That creates a sort of a subgroup that all of this can go into, saying these are all the pieces of geometry. Now let's take this and sort of just move it maybe a little more like this. And now we want to put a camera on that. So we're going to go to here and click on camera. Now that zoomed it out a little bit. Let's turn on that lock there, and then we can move these pieces in and just get a little bit closer. Perfect. And unlock that. And the reason we do that is if we angle the view like this, we lose the camera, but we can get it back. Whereas if we had that locked, every time we'd make a view change, we would change the camera, and we want to keep the camera the way that it is. So let's click on the Environment Light tool here, which adds a dome light to the scene. And we're going to go to the Texture, and we're going to go HDRI and get this Skylit Garage, accept. And this creates lighting for this. To see what that lighting's looking like, let's go to Karma XPU. Now you see that the bricks came back. So we're the color of the bricks came back now that we're rendering. And here's the lighting sort of working the way that it is. If we go 0.5, we can darken that a little bit. We'll bring back some of the color by actually adding a point light. Now we can also, if we scroll down here, there's a little button here that will turn on the denoiser, and that will resolve some of the noise a little faster as we're working. So let's click on the point light tool. It shows us initially from the point light's point of view, which is not what we want. Let's go back to here and say cameras. We're going to go Shift F1 to hide those little hints. We're going to go Shadow, and that will allow us to click here and then Shift click here. And we probably want this to be maybe like 500, and that now we start to see a bit of a shadow there. And if we want to Shift select there, we can shorten the shadow a little bit. So we've got this neat tools allow us to set up our lights right here in this view. Now we want to have some materials on this, so we're going to go Tab, Quick Surface Material, and we're going to call this Rubber Toy Material, and we're going to leave that white, and we're going to Alt-click and drag to create 2 more. And we're going to call this one Pegboard Material, and the last one Ground Material. And the pegboard, we're going to make the color gray, and the ground, we're going to go and make it green, maybe darken the green up a little bit. Let's go a little darker with that so it punches out a little bit. Now, making these doesn't assign them. To assign them, we're going to bring in a special tool. We're also going to just drop this down. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to merge these in. We'll put the merge here and feed the materials into there. Then we're going to drop those down a little bit. And we're going to go Tab, Material, and Linker. And once we've got that, we plug that in. Now what this allows us to do is, for instance, we can put the rubber toy material and then open up Geo here and say, let's put the rubber toy on there. That brightens it up a little bit, but it doesn't change it too much. Then the pegboard material, get the pegboard geometry and assign that. That darkens that a little bit. And then the ground material, we're going to bring that over and click on the ground and put that in. And that's going to give us a green sort of background there. And then, that gives us all the assignments we need. Now we could at this point say, okay, we're going to change this to 0.3 to sort of go a little darker there, and maybe punch this up to 600. Those are options as we work and tweak this. Now, the next thing we want to do is we want to render an individual shot of this. So we're going to go Tab, Karma, and this will put down 2 nodes. We're going to feed this into here. And let's change this to shot 1. And this is going to be a still image shot. Now, when you go and do this, if you click on the render settings, it goes to CPU by default. We want to stay with XPU. And it does turn off the denoiser. So we got to click Filter and Optics Denoiser if we want to bring that back from a rendering point of view. Now, once we have those, we've got our render size and everything ready to go. So we're going to click on here, and we're going to go Render to MPlay. And this will render to a sort of render preview window that we can look at. And there we go. And there's our rendering. So we've been able to take these objects, bring them into the Solaris context, assign materials, and render. Okay, now that we have this as a still frame, let's try to do an animated version of this. So let's go back to the object level, go into rubber toy, and we're going to turn on the animated bricks, and then go back to the stage where we've been working. Now the object disappears, and now we can bring it back in stages through the animation process there. Now currently we've got 120 frames. We don't need, or 240 frames. We don't need that. We need 120. Apply, close, and let's take these 2 nodes, and we're going to Alt drag them over to here. And now that we have this, we're going to change on here. We want to change that to Brickify Anim, and we'll use $F2 to, the 2 is for the padding. We're good to go there. Now we go to this part here. We say current frame range from 1 to 120. Okay, we don't need to worry about those. Okay, so now once we've got that, we can click this. Just make sure we've got here the filter denoisers on. We're going to go back here, and we're ready to go. Okay, so let's click Render to Disk. This brings up this little widget here. It allows us to keep tabs of the progress, and as it's running through the various steps, we will be able to see the results at the end. So I'm going to pause this for now, and we're going to come back once this is ready. Okay, see you in a bit. Okay, so now we can go Render, MPlay, Load Disk Files. We're going to find these in the Render folder, and we can select those and load. Now, because of the animation, we don't have any bricks yet, but if we press play, we see those build up over the time. And there we go. So we've now got this asset working both as a digital asset that you can share and use with different objects, but also an asset that passes its information off to the Solaris context where you can render. So that asset is functioning, building the bricks, instancing the bricks, which come over and render efficiently in Karma. And there we go. So congratulations. I hope you had fun with this lesson, and there's lots more that you can try out to further explore the features of Houdini. Have a great day.